Evening, traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the recap for July 22nd, 2014. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and never move your stop when placing a trade. What a day for a lot of chop. Not an easy day trading. We'll get to the TF in a couple minutes, but here we'll jump in to the NQYM and ES, taking a look at market internals. It was swap, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. You couldn't even get a bias by a 1/3 of the trading day, as it was pretty much evenly split. But market internals in the green at a high of 1140, way above 750, as we'll see the ADN, the 750, same picture, meant that the bias was upside in the green. So that meant from the market open, let's go right to the NASDAQ. Had a trading opportunity on a 1-2 bar confirmation right at the open, 1-2. If you take a look down here at the 534 EMA crossover, you are already in. My tendency is to usually stay out the first 30 minutes, but if the trade is on, 630 would have gotten you in, but where do we have? We have a 1-2 bar confirmation at 633. 633, we are already up at a high. You would have placed a stop down here, most probably either held or taken out. Again, looking for the best trade came at approximately almost the top of the hour to the upside, as we see 1-2 bar confirmation, or 1-2 at 6:49 West Coast time. You have the crossover, much cleaner on this side. I tend to look for trades that are at the same precision entry, meaning I'm looking for a 2-bar confirmation, and I'm also looking for the 534 to just be crossing over. That's a much better trade, so that open from the entry, which would have had you been taken out, you already had the crossover. So again, I'm looking for the new, as we can see here, 5 just barely crossed over the 34. So nice hike in Ashi bar, solid tail up. This would have kept you in the trade all the way up to the top of the 25-minute open range and 1-hour open range that finally settled at the top. Second entry here, you can see 1-2 bar confirmation coming down at 1130, which would have been right here, 1131. So here is another wonderful setup. You have 1-2 bar confirmation downside, or at least waiting back into the range. Here you have the 534 EMA crossover within minutes. A much better entry, solid body tail down. YM, same story, very similar picture to the ES. Would have gotten chopped up obviously here at the beginning. Again, watching the indices, it's the Russell, as you'll see today, had a much cleaner entry. And so YM, even though the rules are the same, if you look here, you would have never taken something upside. You would have really not taken something downside. With the market internals in the green, you're looking for the entry to the upside. There's your bias entry. So 1-2 bar confirmation here at 650. 25-minute open range is setting up. You're down here with a 534 EMA crossover a couple bars earlier, but again, you're already almost at the top of the 25-minute open range. My tendency would have been to hold off. The better of the trades was here towards the end of session. Overnight session has already started, so not much on the YM today. But what would have kept you out of trades is 5 was above the 34, and so you would have been looking for an entry to the upside, which you really never had in the mini Dow. ES was the same story. As you can see right from the beginning, there was really no 2-bar confirmation until about 647. You already had a 534, and as I said on the NASDAQ, I'm looking for a simultaneous crossover almost within minutes, and I already had a 534 here. I'm above the range, green market internals, but chopping alongside. Doesn't make for the best of entries. Not really a trending day as we had seen last week. So tough on the YM and the ES. A little better on the NASDAQ. We'll get to the Russell here in a minute. Let's jump into the YG. The YG here on the open shoot up, but it was not until here you can see this is all one price action here towards the market open. It was really in the middle. Mini gold futures, as you can see here. You could tighten up the time You can go to a higher 20 tick possibly, but here you have 1 2-bar confirmation at 647. We're looking over here already at 7 o'clock is where you got that 2-bar confirmation downside, so it would have taken another couple bars. So here we are again at 7 o'clock at the top of hour. We already have a 2-bar confirmation downside, and you would have stayed in the trade on the 534 EMA crossover. On the QM, the sweet crude oil light, really chopping within the range. Again, I tend to watch that range with a very short range. I would want, obviously, momentum to be outside of it. And you didn't get it till at least 10:30 Pacific time. And you're looking for a breakdown underneath the 1 hour open range. There you are at 10:30, 1-bar, 2-bar crossover. You already had the upside crosser way above at around the open. So truth is, from the market open, I mean, if you had waited for the chop in here to re-enter, you would have been under the range. But if you had gotten in towards the market open, you would have been on a 1 2-bar crossover. So here it's 537, 542, 546. You have 546, you have an EMA crossover, and that would have been your entry. That would have been the entry of the day, which would have kept you in the 5 yellow line here, staying underneath the 34. Or your re-entry, had you not entered towards the market open, you would have entered underneath the range. So nice move on the crude to keep you in 5 under 34. Yes, that's right. Take a look at that, Jedi traders. All that way down from a high of 103 to a low of around 101. Puts in the ticks by just remaining 5 under 34. Wonderful trade. All right, let's jump right into the Russell. As we can see in the big picture here, what have we been doing? We've been chopping up our market open weekly opening price, which was down here or somewhere in this mess here. It should have been, let's see, where we are, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So weekly opening price, can't find it on my lines here right now. Let's go ahead and maximize this. All right, here we go. So hidden in between this daily pivot here and the 200-day moving average, our weekly opening price. As you can see, Monday and Tuesday we gapped down and then gapped right back up here to cover the open gap up here. But it was all momentum drive above the CAM H4. And when you get an entry above CAM H4, you can almost for sure bet that the drive would continue up. And so it did, and here we are. We're bursting up through the top of the 25-minute open range, 1 hour open range, and there you go. 1 for 1 for the week. Monday we didn't get it, but here we are. Last week we had 5-0 all 5 days hitting the average move up. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many hits do we have? The average move up formed the line in the sand today. Price giving it all back down to the post 30-minute pivot open, this white line here, to finish way above the daily gap. Gap traders never got their chance today, finishing above the 200-day moving average. So perhaps the upside volume still a little bit on the downside, but hopefully this market will finally settle out. We've just been having price action crossover each day. As you can see, the AD line was under the 750 today, and there it was popping above the 750. Keeping it steady up here with this drive up, and then eventually giving it all back to the 750 line. So awesome trade from the beginning. Again, this is our chart for giving our support and resistance line and major lines that we look at every day. But it's here on the 534 and the 8-period moving average that we take a look for our entry. So here from the market open, like the remainder of our trades, we had a 2-bar confirmation over here. I'm sorry, 630 2-bar confirmation, but again, we've already had a 534, or here we go, 534 EMA crossover from the open. Put your stop down here at the bottom. Would have never been taken out. You would have been taken out on the NASDAQ, but here, 5 just barely crossed over the 34. If you want to wait for the 25-minute open range to set, your second entry was right here at 647. 1 bar, 2 bar, or actually here you go, 1 bar, 2 bar before that. 1, 2, 1, 2, either one, choose that by 647. Here it is. You already had the 534 solid body and a tail up, and you are in the trade and keeping you in the trade on the 534 EMA crossover. And what else would have kept you in that trade? Check it out right down here. 5 above 13, above 21, above 80. And what a nice lineup, especially at 647. You might not have taken the trade from the start. You might have put it in. Your stop would have been taken out, but the cleaner trade was right here at 647 as the 5 stayed above the 1321.80 all the way up to the top of the 1 hour open range for some healthy ticks from about 1150 all the way up to 1156 drive. And as we could see, our second entry, which lined up with the other indices towards the late session as market price came down. Here we go, 1 bar, 2 bar confirmation at 1114. And here we have at 954 earlier. Again, we're in the range, so it could have been up higher as we could see. Here's your 534 EMA crossover at 949, and here we have a 1 bar, 2 bar, 942 a couple minutes later. Again, at this point I would have waited to come under the range, which gave you about 20 ticks there. Not a bad drive from 1152 to about 1149. So the remainder of the session, post-session hours are open at this time. But following, what do we follow? We also look at the Russell Index in our trades, and here we could see in that 11:45 hour price action coming down with the 534 EMA crossover. So to give us a nice entry to the downside. That concludes today's wrap. Feel free to stop by tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra, know one thing, know it well, rings true for all markets. Whether you trade the S or Apple, my plan will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only trade what is in front of me and on my charts. Have yourself a Blue Zone day.